Infrastructure became really interesting because it's a combination of both systems work and distributed systems, traditional systems, and developer or engineering for engineering's sake, rather than just engineering for business sake. Very honestly, infrastructure engineering was very unknown to me from the start. My focus in college was actually operating systems and like processor design. So like super low level, like the companies I wanted to work for based on my major was like Intel or AMD, building circuits on processors and all that. I started infrastructure, one, obviously because it was the job I got, but more so because it's a very interesting problem, where you have all these little systems everywhere and you have to figure out how they work together. And because it was probably the closest you could get to something like operating systems or processor design without actually doing that work, right? Because part of me realized, the stuff I really wanted to do was also really boring at times and really tedious. Like it's fun, but only if you do it for like 3 weeks at a time and then take a 6 month break. Whereas infrastructure is like you can do it for years at a time and it doesn't get boring. Um, so that's kind of what led me to doing infrastructure work. And then uh, focusing on it at Clear Street, what was really exciting was we're building out this. One was obviously because of the timing, I think. Um, like my second day at Clear Street was Sachin handing me a company card and saying, "Go open an AWS account for us." Like there was nothing there, right? So that for me was like, okay, wow, I'm probably never going to get this experience again, so I might as well like do this. But also the challenges there are very interesting because if you look at it from like a back end team, right, where you're just writing APIs and services, that's very interesting work, right? Because you're solving a lot of business problems. But then there's this other layer below that, which is how do these things run and how do they run efficiently, right? And that's what part of what infrastructure is solving. And for me, that was like a big allure into, okay, how do I make sure that the code other people write without even knowing what that code is? How do I make sure it's running efficiently? Efficiently meaning like it's obviously running fast, memory efficient, but also cost, right? Every computer we run at Clear Street costs us money. So how do we package everything so that it runs in a way that we're not, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, just wasting it. And then on top of that, how do we get it so that someone who has never worked at Clear Street before, who's never seen like the whole, bring up of the tech stack, can join our firm, write code, and run it without like spending 6 months learning about it. And that's actually been a big goal of the infrastructure team since the start, which is we would like one of the benchmarks we have is the day you join Clear Street is the day you should be able to make a change in production. You should be able to, in theory, and now in practice as well, like if I wanted to change our website color to green, you could join the company and do that on your first day. And there isn't that much learning required to do that in terms of here's what you need to change, here's how you get it to build and then deploy and go out to production. So yeah, I think the that's a roundabout way of saying like infrastructure became really interesting because it's a combination of both systems work and distributed systems, traditional systems, and developer or engineering for engineering's sake, rather than just engineering for business sake. Even though infrastructure does some of that as well.